Nobody sat me down at 22 and told me how life actually works. Not how it looks in the movies, not how it sounds on graduation day speeches, how it actually works with all the parts that are uncomfortable and inconvenient. And the fact is, nobody wants to say that loud. I learned everything I'm about to share with you the hard way. Through 18 years of corporate life, through 35 plus years of chaos, recent divorce, through building and losing and rebuilding my sense of who I am. These are not motivational lessons that I'm going to share. They are brutal, honest truths of life. I wish someone had handed me this list at 30 instead of me having to earn every single point on it. Let's get on to it. Lesson 1. Life is unfair, and accepting that is the beginning of real freedom. Accept that immediately, and you will feel more free to execute your goals. For years, I operated as if working hard and being good to people would guarantee good outcome. It doesn't. I watched less capable people get promoted. I watched genuine efforts go unrewarded. I lost people I shouldn't have lost. The moment I stopped expecting life to be fair and started focusing only on what I could control, I stopped wasting energy on resentment. Resentment is expensive. It costs you the present while you argue with the past. Number 2, true freedom is about your time, not your money. Freedom isn't about money. Freedom is about the ability to choose what you do with your available time. Time is the only resource you cannot regenerate. You can regenerate wealth, you can recover from ill health to get good health, but you cannot regenerate time. I spent 15 years chasing a salary band that would give me true freedom for a later time, and I kept arriving at that later, and the freedom wasn't there. I kept chasing because I had never thought about time as the real currency. Ask yourself right now how much of your time today is actually yours, not your company's time, not your family's obligation, not your phones, not your responsibilities, only yours. If the answer is very little, you are not free yet. Regardless of what your bank account says, regardless of the success you have achieved, regardless of the assets you own, unfortunately, you are not free. Lesson number 3. No one owes you a chance. You can be talented, you can be hardworking, you can be the best person in the room. None of that means opportunity will come to you. I spent time early in my career that if I performed well enough, the right people would notice and reward it. Sometimes they did. Mostly they were just too busy in their own careers to track mine. And this is not a very harsh thing on them, but that's the harsh reality. This is what happens. Nobody is sitting in a room thinking about your potential all the time. You have to show up, create your own visibility, and ask for what you want, not from a position of arrogance, but from a position of clarity. The people who progress are not always the most talented. They are the ones who stopped waiting to be discovered. Lesson number 4: being busy is not the same as being productive. It's easy to be busy or say that I'm busy. The hard part is doing the work that actually moves you forward towards your goals, toward a commitment. I was busy for most of my professional career, full calendar, back-to-back meetings, always something urgent, and I looked back now and I ask, how much of that was genuinely important from a larger scheme of things and the purpose that I wanted to live for? How much of it was just motion dressed up as progress? Busyness is often a very sophisticated way of avoiding the one or two things that actually matter in your life. The uncomfortable things, the things that require real thought or real courage. If you're always busy, ask yourself what you are too busy to face. Lesson number 5: critics are always loudest from the sidelines. The moment you start doing something, anything, publicly, people who have never tried will have opinions about how you're doing it the wrong way. They become experts of something they've never tried, and if you are trying, they have an opinion about it. I started this channel knowing that would happen to me. There will be people who will comment, criticize without even they ever creating a piece of content. And it did. Comments from people who I knew who have never made a single video about what I should be doing differently. Theodore Roosevelt said it well. It's not the critics who counts, it's the person in the arena. The critics are watching from outside the arena. They're not in the game. Their comfort allows them to be loud about your risk. Do not give them more attention than what they deserve, which is actually very little. Lesson number 6: money isn't everything, but pretending it's nothing is actually foolish. Every 20-year-old wants to be a millionaire, and every millionaire wants to be a 20-year-old again. This is something worth sitting within and thinking actually how true that is. Money matters. It removes certain kinds of stress. It creates certain kinds of choices, comfort for yourself, your family, a sense of security. I'm not going to pretend otherwise that it doesn't matter. But I earned well for 18 years and still felt empty somewhere because money solves external problems. I had internal ones with which I wanted to evolve upon. And as a growth seeker, if you are looking for the same, then money is a tool. When it becomes the goal itself, when the number in your account becomes your measure of your worth, you handed your self-esteem to a spreadsheet. Earn well, but know exactly what or who you are earning that for. It is important. Lesson number 7: think one step at a time. The mountain is meant to overwhelm you. When you have a mountain or a challenging situation to overcome, mountain to climb, don't let that challenge or mountain overwhelm you. after everything collapsed in my personal life, the grief, the divorce, the identity crisis that followed, the chaos, the self-doubt, the situation or the mountain looked impossibly large to rebuild myself. However, I had to rebuild myself, figure out who I actually was, develop boundaries, find purpose, process loss, overcome self-doubt. All of it at once felt paralyzing, agonizing. What I learned is that you do not climb a mountain by looking at the peak of it or the summit. You climb it by taking the next step that is directly in front of you. That is it. Just the next step. The summit will come, you will reach there. But only because you stopped staring at it and started taking the first step. Lesson number 8. Success and failure both are temporary. Don't get too attached to either of them. Don't get attached when you're successful. Don't get too bogged down by failure. Success blinds you with pride, and failure drowns you in doubt. I had professional success, I had some personal successes, and during the course of 30 years, 35 plus years, when personal things fell apart, I made the mistake of letting that success feel like proof of my worth. It wasn't. It was just a season, and seasons change. The Stoics had a practice. They would remind themselves regularly that everything they had or owned could be taken away. Not in a pessimistic way, as a preparation tool. When you hold success lightly, you are devastated when it shifts. And when you hold failure lightly, you are not paralyzed by it. Both are passing weather, and you are the sky, which will always be prevailing. Lesson number 9 is balance is not the goal. A fulfilling, purposeful life is. We have been told our whole lives to seek balance. Work-life balance, emotional balance. Everything is taught in equilibrium. I tried to balance for years and mostly felt like I was failing at everything equally. A little bit of career, a little bit of family, a little bit of health. All of it was in a state of mediocre because it was all trying to be balanced and not fulfilling. Balance is transient. There will be seasons where work demands everything, seasons where family demands everything, seasons where you need to go completely inward. The goal is not balance, it is meaning. A life where the seasons of intensity are in service of something you actually care about. That is rewarding, that is fulfilling. Perfect equilibrium is a fantasy. Don't chase it. Lesson number 10. You cannot control people's loyalty. Only your own integrity is what that matters. The only loyalty you can truly rely on is your own commitment to yourself and your values. When I started evolving by setting boundaries, speaking with conviction, not pleasing, becoming less available to everyone around me. Some people I had known for years just disappeared. People I had given a great deal to, they failed to resonate this evolution. I spent time trying to understand why, trying to also fix it. Eventually, I understood you cannot control whether people stay. You cannot earn loyalty through sacrifice or constant seeking of availability. People stay because it serves them, or they leave because it no longer does. What you can control is whether you showed up with your values and integrity, whether you were honest, whether you did the right thing by your own values. That is for yours to control. Everything else is just not. Lesson number 11: be brave enough to try things you might be bad at, or not fully aware of, or not confident of. Limiting yourself to what you have always been good at will stop you from exploring a world of opportunities. I spent almost 30 plus years staying inside lanes I knew I could succeed in, corporate structures I understood, roles I had proven myself in. And this channel, this whole project to build a community of growth seekers, is me doing something I'm not certain I'm good at. Sitting in front of a camera, talking honestly with thoughts coming in my mind on a topic about my inner life, my vulnerabilities, putting it out in front of the world. It's not a comfortable feeling, but I want to do that because I know there are growth seekers who might feel the way I felt when I went through that chaos and still trying to evolve and learn. I'm learning in public, and that is uncomfortable every single week when I put up a video. But the alternative, only ever doing things you are already competent at, is a very small life. Growth lives outside your proven range every time, without exception. And I am going beyond my comfort zone to put up my thoughts in public to my fellow growth seekers to build this community. Lesson number 12: it's you versus you. Stop comparing with others. Try not to get caught up in the frenzy of comparing yourself to others. It's of no use. In a world built for comparison, social media, LinkedIn, WhatsApp groups where everyone's life is a highlight reel about their family and how good the relations and good rapport socially, how strong they are. This is genuinely difficult to not execute well. Comparisons ruin goals. I spent years measuring myself against colleagues, against peers, against a version of success that was never actually mine to begin with. The parameter of success cannot be someone else's life. Their life story is different. Your life story and situation, values, integrity is different. The only comparison that has ever moved me forward is this: am I better than I was in the last month, the last week? Not better than my colleague or peer or a social media influencer. Am I better than someone from my batch? No. That is not how to look at things. Better than the version of me that existed last month before I made a commitment. Am I better from December last year to April this year, where I promised that I'll make a video and start making videos of my story, building a growth seeker community in Incubate Growth? The answer is yes. And it took a lot of courage and inner struggle and overcoming that struggle to come on camera and talk my thoughts in a monologue with all of you all in public. Yes, my comparison from where I was in December last year to now, I have made improvement. 12 lessons. Every one of them learned the hard way. I want to be clear about something. None of this is theory for me. Every single point, I just made it something I either failed to understand for decades or understood intellectually and still had to live through to actually believe it, the experience of it. My hands are shivering while I'm sharing this, but that's the progress that I have made. No matter how difficult it is to talk and share all of this, I made a commitment to talk and share it with you, because there could be growth seekers just like me to learn from what I have experienced. Maybe you are experiencing it and you are growing from it. I know it could be a frustrating part of reading wisdom or listening to wisdom. You can hear it, you can nod at it, you can save a video about it, and then life will still hand you the exact situation that tests you. And you will still have to choose in that very moment what you actually believe in. Nobody escapes the actual work. We just decide how long to delay it. The question I want to leave you with is simple. Of these 12 lessons, brutal life lessons that I shared with you, which one are you most avoiding? Not which one sounds most interesting to you, which one makes you slightly uncomfortable reading or hearing about, because that is probably the most important one for you right now. Leave that problem or lesson in the comment section and I will answer how I worked upon it with experience. Subscribe if this gave you something to learn. Share it with someone who you feel needs to hear this. The honest version, not the comfortable one. My name is Abhishek. This is Incubate Growth. See you next week.